communication.
Yes. Sorry, our camera died.
Yeah, we're on to camera number 2.
Camera number 2. Yeah, just the regular communication, and I just find it really, really important for, especially if one person in the relationship is a bit of a worrier, like me.
Yeah.
And if you can't be in communication with somebody for a certain period of time, like say it's going to be a couple of days you're going away, or you're going out for the evening, or I know you have other plans and you just can't be in touch with them, or you're going to be studying or whatever, just let them know. Like, all it is quick text. Like, you know, there's WhatsApp, there's Viber, there's all of these free texting avenues that there is no excuse to not let them know. And it would save a lot of heartache, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, if they're like me.
Yeah.
Worrier. Not so much worrier.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably in that respect, like, we're not so much polar opposites, but I'm quite a laid back person.
We're balanced.
Yeah. That I think kind of it was important for us to kind of let each other know from the get-go what worked for each of us, and to make sure that we kind of respected the other, that where I wouldn't be great, as you said, like I would get a message, I'd read it and I'd reply to it like 2 hours later.
You didn't really do that with me though.
No, because I knew that it's important for you to keep properly in touch, that if you got a message I would reply back, because I knew you would get really panicked otherwise.
That's not to say that when I got a message from her I just looked at it and put the phone down, because that never happened. I always got back. I still do.
Yeah.
And you do get back to me like almost immediately.
Yeah.
And if you don't, there's about 20 missed calls on your phone.
Yeah, like, I sent you a message. Were you in a meeting? What happened?
Something happened?
Is everything okay? Like, yeah, you were sitting on the desk, or you were in my pocket. Oh, but yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry.
Not in the slightest. But that's okay.
We do only have 10 minutes left on the camera.
Okay.
So,
the last one, which we did kind of cover at the start,
a little bit,
is visits to each other.
We were super fortunate in our geographical location that visits were able to happen about every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So we realised that that was really, really fortunate, and not everybody's in that position. But when you're doing a long distance relationship, obviously visits are important. So you make the most of the time that you do have together, and you try to visit as often as you can.
And also, on a side note, kind of in relation to that, is to make the visits equal if it's possible, particularly if it's financially possible.
If it's possible,
because it can be very easy for one person to be making the visits if it works for them.
Like, you were in the long distance relationship before me.
Yeah. Where for other reasons, like at the time I wasn't out to my family, she wasn't out to hers, and it did make more sense for me to make the majority of the visits, but it then made it harder as well, because a lot of the, not financial strain, but it was down to me to be making the visits all the time, and it did take its toll.
It is hard, like,
that just, I think, to get it out in the open, like if it's going to have to be that way, that's fine, but talk about it. Have the other person pay for the train ticket once every 3 times or whatever, but come to some sort of agreement that if it's going to make more sense for the visits to more often than not be at one side, then come to some sort of agreement, because the person doing the travelling can take it pretty hard.
And I think when we were visiting edit, visiting each other.
No, I did that one.
I shouldn't imagine that you would.
No.
Is that like if I paid for flights to go see Leslie, that once I got there you tended to pay for everything, and then if she came to visit me once she got here, I would pay for everything, like food.
Yeah, to kind of balance out. Like if it's going to be where the flights for me say came to €30, and for a weekend at the time in Dublin, you would spend more than €30 in a weekend.
Oh,
so when it came to you were passing that financial limit, then you then split it between the two of you. It has to be balanced.
You
just
find
to keep
a way.
it fair.
Yeah, you find a way because
you don't want to resent the other person.
Exactly, and it does, as much as you won't want cash to get in the way, it kind of does a little bit. But like, for people I'd say who are travelling quite long distances, like, I don't know, say Kayla and Lucy, where Lucy lives in, or lived, they're together now, where, and we love those guys.
Yes.
Where they lived, Lucy lived in London, Kayla lived in the States. Obviously, tickets like those, plane tickets like those, were going to cost quite a lot. So if you can split the cost of the plane tickets, or I don't know, find some kind of balance, it just makes it easier for everybody, I think. And obviously situations are different, like if I wasn't working, or if I was only working part-time, and you might have contributed some towards the flights, or the same the other way around, like just you just find what works for you.
Find what works. Talk everything.
Talk. So important.
We're so good at it, like, in general.
You have to be in a long distance relationship because talking comes first before everything else.
Yeah.
Because if you can't talk and you can't communicate, then
it's just not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work when you're together in the same room. So I think that's something you learn early on.
Yeah.
With a long distance relationship, if somebody feels like your perfect match, then they probably are, because if you can talk it out, talk about anything,
and if you can talk on Twitter in 140 characters or less,
which we did for a long time
before realizing, oh wait, there's other things that we could do, like email
and
Skype.
And it took me about half an hour to press that call button on Skype. I was so nervous I wouldn't understand you. I was so nervous just about talking to you. And actually, we got talking first because I was trying to help you score somebody in your college, and you were trying to tell me to go over and investigate the girl who was working at the laundromat.
Yeah.
Who also looked gay.
And then
it happened. And it's perfect. So those are tips, when you find them useful or not. And if you have any comments,
leave them below.
Please comment below. We are just newbies.
Around there somewhere, possibly.
Somewhere down there.
In that general direction.
Yes. And watch back for more videos, I guess.
Yeah. Speak to you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.